Hey guys, this is Shadowq here, and today I wanted to talk about something game design wise, and that something is global ultimates. These are often controversial just for the fact that, well, they can either often be really, really strong or really, really weak, and often a god's kit is like completely determined around this move. And I'll discuss why it is often a bad thing, but why it's probably going to be good for Smite in general. So let's talk about a global ultimate. What is it? Basically, anything that reaches like halfway across the map is generally considered a global, um, because moves that just reach so far are often really, really hard to play around, and that's true. If you guys have seen Allied's video about if Smite is too hard or not, he talks about global ultimates just being really tough to play around, and that's because people often just can't expect stuff from that far away. People can do that from anywhere at any time, and it's often really, really hard to predict when somebody's going to global you and gank you. And that's one of the biggest reasons why people very much dislike these global ultimate moves or any global move in general. It's often just too difficult to predict. And you could argue that at a very high level, this is often just considered at every time, but at everything except for pro play, this is often an issue, and it just feels bad to be killed by it. Often you just can't predict it, and it's really hard to do anything about whatsoever. It's just really bad, at least for me, like when I was learning the game, or whenever I'm with somebody that's not like completely pro at the game, it's just really difficult for them to play around anything that's global because they're already trying to consider, how should they position themselves in lane to play around the support and the ADC? How do they like prevent themselves from taking poke? How do they optimize their farm? How do they they're just considering so many things at once, and global ultimates are something that can happen from literally anywhere at any time that is just really, really hard to consider. And a difference between being ganked in general and being ganked by a global ultimate is that like you can do things to play around people just walking up to your lane. Like you can ward, you can position yourself a little bit further away. You can have somebody just like spot for you like the support, or your support can be there to block for you. But like with a global ultimate like Thor or Ratatoskr, they can land on you from like I said, literally anywhere. It's just I could go on about this, but at the end of the day, the answer is that it's going to be just too difficult to play around. And that's kind of a negative thing. If somebody's not like able to, in their eyes at least, some like pro players will always be able to consider these options and take everything into account. But if a player in their eyes is just having too much trouble doing this, which I believe is the case for basically every global alt in the game, then that's really bad game design wise because people just won't be having fun. Um, so let's talk about why this is actually probably a good thing for at least the majority of the global alts that exist. Um, Smite is a spectator game, and the moves that are global ultimates often just have really, really cool effects. Like anytime you see someone go into the air and see the whole map and just be like a hawk ready to jump down on its prey, it looks really, really fucking cool. And that's why these moves should still exist in Smite. Um, I don't think it's really conducive to having the most fun possible in a game, but if you see Thor go up in the air waving his hammer around, just like it's really, really cool. That's why that's used in like almost every single trailer. That's why these movies will continue to be added. That's why it's just cool, okay? And even though it's not really the best game design wise, it is very, very smart for hires to keep implementing these things. It's just going to promote their game. It looks cool. It feels really, really good for players to use. And even though it's not fun to play against, it's just too good for them to give it up. So, those are my thoughts on the subject. Hope you guys discuss it in the comments, and thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.